5, let's go.
And
Where's my gavel?
not that. All right, you're
Sorry, I
good.
used my hand.
We are streaming.
Okay, so let's call the budget meeting or budget hearing, excuse me, to order. And any changes to the agenda on the budget hearing?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. So public comment. We have 3 minutes per person. Dave, would you like to comment?
Well, we technically, I mean, I think it's just technical, but you have to do open budget hearing even though we called the meeting to
Gotcha,
order,
gotcha,
you have to
okay.
open and close the budget
Okay.
hearing at a specific time.
Thanks. So
Mhm.
we'll open the budget hearing at 6:05. Public comment limited to 3 minutes per person. No public comment here. Close
That's
the
it.
budget hearing at 6:06.
Yeah.
Okey-doke. Now,
We don't even have to vote on it, right?
No, we will adopt the budget
In
in
June.
June. Mhm.
This is just a public hearing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the regular meeting, call to order at 6:06. Any changes to the agenda on the regular board meeting?
I do have one on that. Could we add a library card policy to 3A? It's part of the non-resident card fee, so I don't think we need any number. It'll be under that.
Library card policy?
Mhm.
We borrow somebody's pen. All my pens in the car, thank you.
Mhm.
Got it. Anybody else wanna add anything to the agenda? No. Cool. Again, public comment, limited to 3 minutes. Mr. Dodgen, no? Okay.
Thank you, President.
You're welcome. Okay, first thing then is to approve the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Are there any changes?
The minutes for the budget committee hearing. Hanscom is spelled AM in 2
Mm.
places.
Thank you.
Sure. And we need to approve
Ah.
the minutes separately, don't we?
I don't know if you have to. We can. And still, okay, there's in present, and let me find. Yeah. There it goes, 9A. All right, that's corrected.
Anyone else? Any corrections to the regular minutes? Okay, I'll entertain a motion on both of them.
I so move to approve them.
I'll second. Okay, the motion and a second to approve both the minutes, the budget hearing minutes as amended and the regular minutes as sent. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Financial report.
Okay, we will start with the Meisner Fund. And highlighted in the top is the dividends for the month and then the balance as of the end of April below there. Never much to discuss there, but any questions? Okay. Next, we'll move on to special purpose library grants. Highlighted, no new grants income in the month of April, highlighted below. So the reason why the prior month column of the CCCC 2025 Reading Club is highlighted is because in preparing the budget documents, we realized that all of that funding had not been utilized. It had just been budgeted out of, or it had been allocated to youth programs. And so we reallocated that to use the grant funding, which is why it's showing up in prior months, just so you know. And I have the details of what those were if you are interested. And then Friends of the Library and Makerspace, again, that Makerspace is more landscaping chart or plants that were planted by Mr. Munson. And nothing else to report there. The balance at the bottom for the month of April is highlighted as well. Any questions? Move on to Library Improvement Fund. Top of the page there in green, we have highlighted the dividends from the LGIP account, and then the expenses in yellow, and then detailed below as to the specific charges that were there. And the balance highlighted in green.
The storage units, the Friends of the Library are selling the furniture that is in there, at the sale on Azalea Festival weekend, so. That should be the bulk of what's in there, and then we can empty the rest and then get that storage unit out of here. And then charge off of the library improvement fund for the next year.
We don't need it for the attic reno.
I don't think so.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
No, we can move that around.
I've never seen the
Yeah.
attic, so I have no idea.
You're
like,
welcome to
what
come,
it's
I'll
like.
give you a tour.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, let's go there, yeah.
Is it spooky?
No, it's really big and open.
I did learn that we have a dumbwaiter, and I did learn that Susanna once rode up in the dumbwaiter.
Dumbwaiter?
Mhm.
And it's big too.
Yeah, we could put a bunch of boxes and furniture, some small furniture.
I think that's a job like librarian needs to do.
That's right.
It does sound very nice to do.
I don't know if you could pull your stuff there while you're.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so that's all on that, and then, the balance sheet, which again, each of those three funds matches to the balance of the report that comes out of QuickBooks for those funds. And, next is the general fund. Nothing was, more than business as usual, no one-time annual charges or anything like that, so I've just highlighted all of the different categories, and at the top there is all the revenue that came in for the month as well. Any questions, comments? Or yes,
You have more revenue already than our budget?
correct.
That's a good job, Pat. On property of higher value.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And when you look at the comparison, last year at the same time, we just were about to meet, well, we're actually over already in the end of April. Last year, we weren't yet.
Hmm.
So ahead of where it was last year in collections. Anything else?
Your non-resident card members are higher this year than they were last year. That doesn't tell us how many cards there are, but it tells us the dollar amounts.
Mhm. Then last is the card statement. Any questions there? I don't think so.
So. If there are no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
Okay,
That-
okay, moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Non-resident card fee.
Okay, this one is a carryover from last month when we did our annual review of the card fee. For many years, we were at $60 a year. 2 years ago, we went up to $75 a year, and last month we discussed going up to $80 a year. And I was instructed to check with Curry Public Library to see if they would match, because that seems like a good idea for us to do. I spoke to Jeremy and then followed up with him, and they are good with that. So bumping that up to $80 a year, they're gonna do the same, so we'll do that. And then I did request, as I said, to add, the policy to, if you can take one and pass it down to the, agenda.
Peggy.
Oh, thanks. And that is a front and back. And I just highlighted and read the changes that I made. The first one is based on a conversation, actually, that you mentioned maybe doing a summer card. And so I added an option to do a 3-month there for $20. And then just, 6 months 40, a year 80, which is nice and round. That gives me a little bit of satisfaction there.
Me too, actually.
Yeah. And then on the back side, I did cross off a passport library program. That is a statewide program that libraries participate in. So if someone has a library card at another library that participates in the passport program, that could be Multnomah County Library, then they can come down here and get a free library card as well. That program has been around forever. We never get requests for it. I mean, like, I think the time that I've been here, 8 years, we've had 2, and it just confuses staff. They don't know what to do with it or how to check for it, and it causes some conflict. And I think it's just been kind of a program overall that has kind of fallen out of favor. I actually forgot it was in our policy. I already asked them to remove us from their list of libraries that participate. So I'm just bringing the policy up to date with our practices.
Good.
Any comments on this, library call policy from anybody? Do we
Can I
need to?
move to adopt it?
Yeah.
Mhm. So I guess I'll entertain a motion to adopt this library code policy.
So moved. I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So then this will say updated.
Yeah.
What is today,
By 19.
please? Okay. Cool. Next, let's see, board member vacancy. Okay, Sue? How would you like to share with the board what we decided? Sue, I'm sorry, Pat.
Yeah,
Pat.
it wasn't me, but I was happy to
My
share
bad.
whatever, but no.
Sorry.
So much alike, everybody confuses.
Last time you
Last
see
time,
Sue.
yeah.
Pat, would you like to share with everybody what we decided?
Myself with
And of course,
Sorry, Sue.
I have personal pignosia. I don't recognize her name or her face or anything, which is always embarrassing. So you can tell what her name is, but we had 2 really good candidates. And I think the reason that we picked the woman that we picked,
Iris, Weaver.
Iris, is because she was so outgoing and dynamic. We talked about the fact she got to stand for election and she was kind of bring it on, where the man that we interviewed said,
Wade Bell.
Wade,
Mhm.
was a lot more hesitant and he hoped we'd help him and all of that, and we would have. But she just presented herself as somebody that believed in the library and had already done some volunteer work. She's got some kids. She's not 85. I mean, there's some things in her favor.
You're not a day over 40, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm not 85 yet either, but I'm pushing. She had a good background and we checked everybody off. The man came in really close.
Yep.
And there are gonna be 4 vacancies that are gonna be up for election next year. And we encouraged him to give it a shot and try to fill one of those spots. But he's more shy. He's a teacher and I don't know that he'll do that, but we would like him to. But the Iris, I think, will be a good person. What did you think?
Yeah, what Pat said, we, of course, approached each of them with a question that says, this is gonna be an appointment that's only good until next March. You'll have to file and run again if you wanna retain your seat. Are you willing and able to do that? And, that was the one spot where, there was a very tiny difference between the 2. Iris was like, no hesitation. Well, she said, I've never done this before, but I'm ready. I'll do my best. And Wade was, a little more, hesitant, like you said. He thought he could, but he also had never run for an election and was, less sure of himself. Well, that's not the right way to put it either. Just a little more hesitant about
Yeah.
running an election.
Intimidating.
Yeah, but we did also say to both of them, we said, now, no matter who we choose, we want both of you to consider potentially running because they're highly qualified candidates if there is a second seat open, and that's up to Peggy.
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly what we discussed last month, but if you recall, Brenda Jacques was also in the running.
I
and
was gonna
she-
ask about
And
that.
she decided that she no longer wanted to be
Yeah.
considered, so she did not, and she did not interview. And also, we were operating under the assumption that whoever took Pat's appointment would finish out her term, but there was some confusion about the language in ORS, and I checked with our attorney, and that's not the case.
It's through June 30th.
Through June 30th, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why there would be four, potentially four.
Yeah.
Up in the next election, if.
Sue and
I
I,
might have done something different.
Yeah, right, so yeah, that's the case, and Iris and Wade, I don't know either of them well, but I know them both as patrons and library supporters. And
yeah,
I'm
they
okay
would,
with either selection.
they would both make wonderful library board members, so,
They both seem very thoughtful. And
yeah.
My understanding is Iris is a local fishing family and that she has bookkeeping experience and I love a numbers person.
That was
What's her
that was
last
a
name?
plus.
Lever, but she
Lever.
grew up as Iris Wraith.
Oh, she's great. Oh, okay. Now I know
I
her.
knew her as a fishing kid back in the day. So
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Pat's and my suggestion. It's ultimately up to the board, to appoint one or the other, so. Do you guys have any questions for us about either one?
Yeah, what did you find out about Wade as far, you said he's a teacher. Can you remember anything about what he taught?
He's elementary school.
The elementary? Yes.
Okay, yeah, we also asked them both for, a resume, if you will, and so I have, Wade's information here. Iris gave us one, I'm not finding it. Anyway, no biggie. But I have it here if you wanna look at it real quick.
Do you recall what she does for a living, or do you know? Or is she,
She's a bookkeeper.
oh, bookkeeper, okay, that's right.
And so is she involved in the community at all? Is she active?
Yeah, I believe she volunteers quite a bit. I think she homeschools her children on top of bookkeeping.
Mhm.
Kathleen would know more about what she listed. You know, she and I aren't in any of the same committees or committees together because I'm not.
I was just thinking of name familiarity, how involved she is, that people would recognize her name.
Well, then, of course, the second half of that is if she's very busy, will this be a problem for her?
Well, it doesn't seem to be for the rest of us.
I don't think she's as busy as. I'll say. She's freelance and picks her own hours.
If I recall correctly, she said she has a real flexible schedule since she homeschools and her husband's the, main breadwinner, I believe. I'm sorry, you guys,
That's
I had
okay.
it. I had it.
It's
They
not,
were both impressive. I mean, it was close. If he'd been, I don't know. Actually, we looked at him and I don't wanna be sexist, but I thought it'd be nice to have a man on the board too. But she took it away. She really did.
And she was the person who, the reason I approached her was because she was the only person who came for our budget hearing last year. And so I appreciated that we were in the annex because they were setting up for the book sale and she came up and was the person who sat in that chair and gave a public comment. And I appreciated her participation.
which shows her interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she was willing to sit through a meeting like that, then she's obviously interested.
Right. And it was, you know, set during dinner time and
Yeah,
Yeah, she homeschools, uses the library for meeting space. Her kids participate in most of our programs. It's quote, one of her family stops, her kids hang out here.
That I can confirm,
Yeah.
they are here a lot.
She's also on the Upper Chetco Fire Board, so she has some elected experience, I guess, although she said that's a.
if you step forward, you're on.
Exactly, pretty much.
Fire.
And I'm apologize again, I cannot put my hands on her resume, but she did bring one. Pat, you don't happen to have a copy of it?
Nope, I thought you had both. So
I should have.
I have it somewhere.
Oh, here it is, right in front of my face. Lord. It's been one of those days, you guys. So let's see. She's currently the administrator for the Western Fish Boat Owners Association, which is a Washington, Oregon, California association, so that's gotta be a virtual job. And she basically just handles member services, board coordination, record keeping, and website maintenance. Prior to that, she was a bookkeeper. And she still is a bookkeeper, basically for the fishing vessel Amy Lynn. Yeah. worked for Musser for a couple years. She was with Casa for a year. Worked at C&K Market back when it was C&K for a couple of years. Worked at the Chetco Pharmacy. It's almost all bookkeeping. That's pretty much her background, bookkeeping. So, and she has, a lot of volunteer, work.
And she has a lot of community connections.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's important when you know you've got to run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Well, I like the gentleman as well, but
does anyone want to see either of these real quick?
Yeah, I feel like that.
There we go.
And they were both good. I mean, we would have loved to have both of them. They were.
Yeah.
And it sounds like within 12 months, we could have both of them.
Who knows?
So maybe not 12 months, not till July 1st.
I haven't seen Brenda for years. What is she doing now?
She recently came back around, maybe last year, and started volunteering again. I think after she retired, she kind of took a break from library
Oh, she's
land.
been volunteering.
But yeah, she is,
here at the bookstore.
She's on the endowment board with me now. We both.
And the Friends of the
and the
Library,
Friends of the
right?
Library.
Mhm, she's on both.
She manages the bookstore
That's good
and
to
she's
hear.
on the endowment.
And that was one of her reasons. She's like, she's already got her hands in so many
Mm-hmm.
different pots here and she just didn't feel comfortable taking on.
She would have had to probably
Yeah.
leave at least one of those.
Yeah, and I think she'd probably be happy at.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad to hear that she's really involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have her around. A lot of institutional history with her.
Yes.
Any other questions? Sue isn't done reading yet, so I'll give her a minute.
One of those people that she's not a skimmer.
Yeah,
No problem, take this.
it's okay. It's okay. No rush.
You know, if you skim books, you miss so much of the good stuff.
I'm a skimmer.
I read
Often, it depends on the book.
I read every word of a book, but not say the card instruction manual. You gotta. speak.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, that's different.
Yeah,
I'm not a skimmer, but I read way too fast and I miss stuff.
yeah, that's
Yes.
probably closer to what I
I
do.
can't imagine reading slowly. I mean, I read a book a night, or I listen to an audiobook a night.
Mhm.
I just been that way my whole life, so it would seem weird to slow down. It's like,
To read as fast as people speak,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
difficult,
Yeah.
which
Well,
a
when
lot of
you-
people do, yeah.
When you run into something in the content and you think, wait a minute, how did that happen? And you've got to go backwards.
Yeah.
Who
You're
is this?
reading too fast.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people who gets to the end of the book and if you listen to it, it might be different, but if you read it, you don't know what anyone's names are, you
Peggy,
just
did
say
you
their name makes.
Want to see that, Cora?
Kinda, I'm
Do you
kinda
want
like
to
that.
see the resumes?
not really.
You know what?
The
I think you've
names,
answered
I
my
like,
questions.
just
You know the shape of the name.
associate the name, but I don't.
Say it, or might, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's same thing with watching shows. I can't tell you characters' names, so.
Yeah, I don't remember it very well.
I don't absorb things.
The trouble with an audiobook is sometime after I finish it and I enjoy the book, I don't remember the title or who wrote it, because that's at the very beginning and fast, and I'm anxious to get into the story. So I have to go back and look, because I have another book by the same guy.
During the Easter season, the app called Hallow, I was following the Easter prelude and they kept basing things on the Brothers Karamazov, and I thought, oh God, I don't want to read that again. There are too many names. Everybody has 5 names.
My solution to that problem, Peggy, is to listen to it because the names are all pronounced differently.
Oh, that would help.
And they're like 15 letters long and there's 2 letters that are different. But keeping track of who's who, it's almost impossible, but they say the names differently on the audio.
Right.
So you can track the character.
It had been a long time since I read it and I was not thrilled to read it again.
So, any other questions? Now that everyone's had a chance to see that,
I would be absolutely thrilled with either candidate. I think that they bring a lot, both with understanding regulatory compliance with, school district curriculum standards and special education on Waves End, and with the fisheries from Iris's end and bookkeeping. Between the two, I think that Iris's enthusiasm for continuing on, so we're not just selecting somebody for a 1-year run. And the fact that she grew up here, left, got her education and returned and has those deep roots in the community is something that would be in her favor, but I would be completely happy with either choice. I think that they would only add to the deliberations of the board.
So what's the process?
we just need you guys, I mean, we are suggesting, But it's up to the whole board to vote, so somebody needs to nominate, I believe.
Yes, but Pat is on the board through the June meeting.
Mhm.
So I would say we would not, well, I guess we could appoint her starting July 1st.
Yeah,
correct.
You intended to appoint me early and then, something came up and you weren't able to put it on the agenda or something like that, so there was a gap, I think, between.
that's right, there was between you
Yeah.
and Russ.
Like I started. Yeah, I just remember there was a gap of missing a board member, but it didn't have to be that way.
So I think a motion to appoint Iris, I'm assuming, Lever, to the board beginning on July 1st would be the
So-
motion.
I have a comment before we do that,
Mhm.
and that is, you mentioned the short duration of this term, and then that person, whoever they are, has to rerun again next
Right.
March.
Right.
If you have a candidate who is not sure if they want to do it, a 9-month term is a fairly attractive thing to find out whether he liked it or not, and then not run if you didn't want to do it.
Sure.
Consideration.
Right.
I also like the fact that he is not an XX person,
Oh, what?
XX chromosome person.
A woman.
Oh,
I thought you said ethics.
Seems
and,
funny,
like,
I know, I was like-
I don't think either of them are.
No, I just think that it's helpful to have other perspectives, and
Yeah.
men are just very different from women
Mhm.
on the whole, they really are. So I would probably, I know we don't get to vote, but I would probably support Wade just for those reasons alone.
Well, I like the fact that when the elections come up, that we will have had somebody that would have been on the board for that year and has that background. I think that would appeal more to voters than somebody just coming in off the street. And one of the reasons I liked her is she seemed enthusiastic about going for the election and wasn't afraid of it. And he was really hesitant. So anyhow, I do like those chromosomes too.
Was he hesitant or was he just hoping to have support?
No, I think he was shy about it.
Yeah.
And I think, cause we talked about, you have to go, the League of Women Voters be there, and we talked a little bit about what was entailed, and he said, gee, I hope everybody will help me. And we said we would, but, he seemed shy about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think he felt awkward about getting out there and having to get people to vote for
Sitting
him.
here and calling.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Perfectly understandable reluctance.
yeah,
Putting yourself on center stage is a challenging thing, and you get better at it as you get older, and as you get more experience.
Mhm.
Not even the older, the experience is what drives that.
Mhm. And running for the library board is no longer just running and getting on board.
Yeah.
oh, you mean may you rot in hell forever and ever, no queen?
I was just like one meeting, especially the ones that are.
Be on your gravestone, Pat.
That's okay.
The only other, the only other reason that pushed me more toward Iris was Wade's a teacher, so he works during the day. And although we don't have daytime meetings very often, we do have a few. And that could be an issue.
Like the budget committee hearing.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I mean, I know teachers, that are like exhausted by the end of a school day, and so I wonder if, it might prove to be a real challenge, to go from a full day with kids in school and then right into a potentially long library meeting. I don't think that's so much a big deal.
Yeah, I tend to not take that too much I mean, not that I get a
Yeah.
vote, but into account, because
That's
if someone is
important work.
wanting to be on the board, then they are making the
True.
determination of whether or not they have the time, and
True.
so.
And having homeschooled
Mhm.
3 of my children,
Ah,
I will tell
Also
you that
time-consuming.
homeschooling takes a
Mhm.
large commitment as well, so
Mhm.
Iris doesn't necessarily have
Have a
an
wash.
easier schedule
Yeah.
because of that, that's probably a wash on that.
yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense.
Just,
Who are we gonna appoint, guys?
I guess,
I
make a
like-
motion and see how it
Yeah,
goes.
somebody needs to.
I like them both. I mean, I don't mean personally, I think I like them both as candidates, I think they bring.
Okay, so I will put for Wade's nomination. Adios, senor. Submit Wade to fill the position on the board.
Okay,
Beginning July
I need a
first. You
second.
know, I'm adding words to you.
Do I need a second?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I need a second.
I do like your point, Sue, that, by having him serve 9 months before he had to put his name down, he would have the incumbents boost and know that he was inspired enough and had a track record to be able to speak about. So instead of just running, I had that as well, and instead of just running and saying, I think I do a good job, to be able to say, I've been to the meetings, I've done the SDAO trainings.
Right. And I was in that position. I'd never served on a library board or most any board. There's only been a couple I've served on. So it was a hit the ground running and try to catch up sort of a fair.
Mhm.
I would like someone to second it, so at least we can vote that we considered him.
Are you coming up on term, or are you able to continue serving?
I'll be running again next year,
You will,
but I will be running.
do you know, Peggy?
He'll be
I
right
said-
next year too.
Well, I suspect I won't be. I suspect I'll probably follow Pat's lead and let somebody younger take over by the time. the
And
year's
Sue
over.
is the other,
And the other person.
Mhm.
So
have you
I know-
decided?
Haven't decided. That's 9 months away. Who knows what's gonna happen in the next 9 months?
But assuming we do have another opening, we could invite Iris to,
Yeah.
Good.
to,
Yeah.
cast her hat in the ring if she's already enthusiastic.
Right, and I think that Peggy's already indicated that she's seriously considering relinquishing the pen.
It's time.
There's other things to do in life.
Do we need
I still need a second,
this?
and then we still need to vote on Wade.
I like Adams, I mean.
Your second?
I'll second Wade.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion and a second to appoint Wade. All those in favor?
Me, of course.
Mhm.
I will
Okay. Opposed? I guess. All right, then I need a motion for Iris, to appoint Iris.
I'll make
I'll
my
make the
motion.
motion.
In a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor of appointing Iris? Opposed?
Yeah, I'm opposed.
Okay,
Someone has to.
sure. All right, so Iris it is. One thing I will say, like I said,
Thank
we
you,
talked to
Cora.
them both. Yeah, thank you, Cora. We talked to them both about no matter who we don't choose, we want the other to consider. So, with your guys' permission, when I talk to Wade, I'll reiterate that, and I am more than happy to have him in.
And do tell him that
Mhm.
there will be other positions opening up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because we had to we weren't sure what to say because we hadn't actually gotten any confirmation that you were or weren't. So we said the possibility is there, so I can now say, with your permission, that it's for sure.
I think the reason that tips me more towards Iris than Wade has nothing to do with either one of them, except that she has deep roots in the community that could help the board. And
It's
just,
not a bad choice.
yeah, and,
I felt the same way. I didn't think Wade would win an election.
Hmm.
And and I liked him a lot. I mean, he was
I
great,
did too.
but
really
he
did.
was, very quiet, very hesitant, very, I don't know. I just think Iris has a better chance of winning the election. And I felt that that was important for the board.
You're welcome to give Wade my phone number and let him know that, if he wants to hear my experience or kind of the timeline that I filled out the paperwork or whatever, I'm happy to
Sure.
help him know. That this was that it was close and a long discussion.
Okay. Will do. So, I guess I'll get with you about the process
Mhm.
and we'll move on. All righty then. Thanks, you guys. It was hard. It was really hard.
I was just so happy to hear two such.
That's what I was gonna say.
candidates.
I think it's great that we have people interested
Yeah.
and willing to do this.
Kathleen and I did that last year. It's a hard
Mhm.
job.
Mhm.
Thank
Mhm.
you both for developing the interview in the matrix. I mean, that's
I
nice to.
haven't seen version 2 yet, but.
It's pretty much, it's almost the same. There was one question we didn't need anymore.
Okay.
The rest of it was pretty similar, same
Okay.
kind of ground and all that. So, yeah.
And most of them got 5 all the way straight across.
Yeah.
Not a
One
bad
or two
candidate
little
there.
4s.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Okay, landscape maintenance RFP.
Okay, so Cora got the new draft to me and I sent that on to you. So this is what we have written and then she cleaned up. And so I just wanted to see if you guys thought anything else needed to be adjusted before we actually send this out.
Well, you know what's funny, before I printed this off, I found a typo.
Okay,
Oh, and I can't. Because
find it
then I
again?
printed it off and I couldn't.
Okay,
find
let me
it.
look.
I think it's this one. The submission deadline is May of 2025.
That would be, yeah.
Oh,
So that's a.
there we go.
That wasn't the one I found,
So
so.
was it a different one?
Well, I've just corrected that, okay?
All right.
I did this minutes before we.
Oh,
I can look
Sorry.
through
There's
and
no-
double check for, I didn't actually,
I cannot remember, oh, wait. maybe
I skimmed
just-
it, so I should look for.
I didn't, let's see. Okay, I think I found it. Annual seasonal maintenance, fruit trees, shrubs, grasses, and forbs.
Forbes is
Oh,
that's a word.
what does it mean? I've never heard it before.
Forbs are what you think of as flowers, flowering plants.
Non-shrub,
I've never heard that word.
Shrubs. Forbs.
I Googled it, I did see that, I was like, I don't know that
I
word.
guess on the website, if the landscaper doesn't know what Forbes is.
It's a test.
There you go, there you go.
I did. So a marigold is a forb.
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting, I didn't know that either. I've heard the word, but I didn't know what it meant. Wow.
I thought it was just a miss-up. You guys are really good at this. We didn't make any errors except for 25.
Cora, did you guys come up with this?
This is,
Cora's, this
yeah,
is Cora's draft.
it's, you're welcome. And, I
Wow.
pulled in what Oregon Department of Human Services is using, and their suggestion was to break it down into kind of weekly versus seasonal or annual. And so I took that suggestion and then kind of rejiggered and where we had overlapping or redundant tasks, kind of collapse them into one to just kind of have them be in that
Mhm.
weekly versus annual or seasonal list.
That's very nice.
And I wanted to make it shorter, but I couldn't find a way to not just have it be everything for the main, everything for the annex, without a confusing like
Yeah,
graph or chart with X's.
Right.
Right. So I just left it long.
Yeah, no, it works. It's not that terribly long. It's only
it's fine,
a
yeah.
slightly
Clear.
smaller font.
I guess the truth of the matter is if you condense things like that, it's open to misunderstanding.
Yeah.
It's just a lot better to be very clear about what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm happy to learn a new word today.
Well, you're welcome. Your library board service will help you increase your lexicon.
Well, when I saw that, I thought,
I don't-
what the heck is that?
I don't necessarily need a motion, just consensus that this looks good to everyone, that
Looks
that
great
to me.
this is
Great.
a good place to go. Okay,
Okay.
all right, well, I will put it out.
Thank you, Cora.
Yes,
And,
Cora, thank you.
yeah, great.
Oh, and I wanted to say, a prior meeting, you had commissioned me to both make an herbicide policy and the RFP. I'm still happy to create an herbicide policy if we want to adopt one. There's a model one from the Xerxes Society, which is the, kind of the butterfly pollinator protection, nonprofit. But, what I did was add to the terms and conditions, just the, following manufacturer's guidelines, the OSHA compliance, not spray when there's children and pets or pollinators present, not to spray on a windy day where they may get blowing or having chemicals blowing around, that sort of thing. So I personally don't feel a need to create a second policy because I feel comfortable with what I put in the RFP. If you want a separate policy at any point, I'm happy to continue to work on it. But I'd like to say at this point, I consider my commission complete. Unless the board's consensus is you'd like an additional policy.
Sounds good.
I think it's great.
Talking about learning
Thank
new
you.
things. I learned something new about insects too this week. My garden guy was pruning the hedge and he came running out, not screaming, but close. Because he felt he was being attacked by hornets.
Oh, no.
And I thought, hornets? There's not hornets in my hedge. And so we went over there and we stood there and watched. And pretty soon I found one close enough to be able to look at it. and it was a species of bumblebee.
Oh.
And when I looked it up, it's called Bombus californicus.
That's my favorite little guy.
Yeah, and it's a little teeny bumblebee.
And they don't even sting, they're not hiding.
No, and he felt so bad that he was scared of them.
They're a little sheepish, I think.
Yeah,
The fear doesn't go through your prefrontal cortex.
That's true.
right. Possibly hornet run.
In our backyard, you can pet them, they're so gentle.
I love that.
So.
Okay, moving right along.
So, the last page is page 4, submission deadline. Do we still want May?
That's a question,
That's-
yeah.
That's really very short.
It is short. What is the appropriate amount of time? I mean, I would think at least 30
I'd
days.
say 30 days, so I would just
The
say
previous
June.
one had had like a 2-week deadline, so I didn't know if. that's
Yeah,
what you
I don't
wanted.
know. Okay, but I'll do a month from the day that I send it out, whatever
Okay.
that ends up being. Okay.
Thanks, Sue. All right, annual auditor engagement letter.
So this, we already agreed to stick with the same auditor. But this is the official, I just included the actual scope and the details in the packet. And I need, signatures. And since the audit is in the purview of the board, I wanted to actually bring that so you guys can sign that. And so their copy, they actually have it, the board chair and the district manager. I don't know if you guys, I'm not sure what the actual bylaws. I think it's the bylaws say that contracts should be signed by the chair and attested by the treasurer. But I don't know. I mean,
I'll look this up.
yeah, okay, she's gonna look. So, but essentially it's just what we already agreed to. You can sign on the top line and then we'll figure out if Cora should sign or I should sign. We can cross that off as a district manager. Or
And today's
policy.
date,
Yes.
5/19.
Mhm,
See, like I said, I don't know who's ordered.
Please get the year right.
26.
mhm. Thank you.
I'm pretty good about years. Cool. Okay, that's it?
Yes.
Cora's looking that up.
Yeah.
Second.
The board shall approve all documents binding to the district exceeding the spending authority.
I think this is over 15,000 now.
The word contract is not coming up. You have a
Okay.
word that you have it come up with?
No. I don't. Treasure, well, it would be a test.
Okay.
I know that would be the word that probably was used. Oh, you know what? I need 2 signatures. One is the client's copy and one is their copy.
Yes, okay, the chair will sign all documents binding the district that exceeds the library director's spending authority, or when directed to do so by a majority of the board with the attest by the treasurer.
Okay.
The treasurer will attest the signature of the chair on all documents that are the rest be signed by the chair. We do have a typo there. There you go.
Okay, so that's you then. You will sign both of those.
Do you want me to cross manager?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you can.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Next is the director's report.
All right.
We said to put those in.
Let's see, it's client copy. Client copy.
This large format printer donation is kind of cool.
Lovely, isn't it? I know. How great is that?
Would you have a chance to put a copy of that in my box? I just want
Yes.
everything the same.
Yep,
Okay,
we'll do. Let me make a note of that. Don't forget. So yeah, full printer. I haven't seen it in action yet. I don't think we've actually fired it up. We have to clean out some of the inkjets and things like that and get the right paper, but that's exciting that we have that. Thank you to David Haynes at the Gold Beach Library, Curry Public Library. Annex is done, no more leaking.
Yay.
So the landscaper fresh, that's the big news there.
I'm just laughing because of the waterworks I walked into the other
Yes,
day.
yes, and so you saw the chaos that was that project, and it certainly ballooned, and Incredible thanks to the Friends of the Library for stepping up and covering that extra cost. That was, a weight off my shoulders. I know. And so Brian with PCR Land Management was actually here today setting the programming. And so starting tomorrow at 8 a.m., it's supposed to start cycling. This will be like the test case. And each new planting area will get 30 minutes of water Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And he's aiming for a gallon and a half a week for each plant. We'll adjust as needed if needed. There might be a couple of places where Dawn is still putting plants that we might have to add a few more tubes, but there shouldn't be any significant cost or maybe any cost to those, but we'll see. But yeah, so any questions about that?
I'm just so grateful for them.
I know.
This project's-
You should have seen my heart stop when he said the cost.
It all
Yeah,
started with like, oh, sure, let's put a few new plants in and trim the hedges,
Yeah.
and like $8,000.
right, yeah,
It's really making a difference, so.
yeah, it's looking really, really good, it
Yeah.
really is. And it's just gonna get better as they grow and as things grow and yeah, he's doing a great job. And we definitely need to, do something formal to thank him, maybe bring him to the June board meeting. Can I invite
Sure,
him and put
yeah.
that on the
What do
agenda?
you guys think? Yeah.
It sounds like punishment now.
We'll see, he might not want to, yeah, I'll,
We'll put his thanks up at the front and then we'll tell him you can go if you want. You don't have to stay for the whole thing.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So is Mr. Munson happy with what?
Yes.
He seems, I mean, he is dedicated to the project, you know, he is very, committed and, protective, but yeah, I think he's happy with everything that's happening, of course, and,
Good.
yeah.
And we've got signage coming to.
Yeah, I have it, yeah, so we're gonna put a few friendly signs out about, you know, keep your pets. Still on pee, I'm not using the word pee, but I wanted to,
Yep.
I did ask
I'm
for.
not so much worried about the P as the other.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, on the new little bit guys, they'll get burned by the nitrogen.
Yeah, yeah, so, that is a point of contention, you know, there's that we have a public space. The volunteers get very frustrated when they're here working and see people going through, walking through or letting their dogs in, and there's been some conflict points that I'm trying to mediate. But as a public building, we just, that's gonna happen. We
Some
can't,
multi-use area.
we can't stop it. We can't stop it fully. We can, you know, and we, staff are trained how to, interact with people and how to maintain relationships while still enforcing the rules. And so I'm just trying to get staff out there to do that more so that volunteers don't have to and aren't having those interactions. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's going good. There's a little more work. He has a few more plants. He's been working kind of on the other side now. Some rock roses went in on the Railroad Street side, over by the Oak Street stop sign. So
Are we gonna put any flowering things in?
there are some flowering things,
Yeah,
yeah.
rock roses.
I have a ton of, yellow pom-pom daisy tubers.
I don't know. I know that they planted something over here and pulled it up because deer were getting at it. So on this end of the property in particular, we have to be deer aware, and he didn't realize that. So I don't know all of the things, like, it's not like he's giving me a list in advance of what he's
Well, you
planting.
have to talk to him, tell him you know somebody that's got a bunch of
What is it called again?
yellow pom-pom daisy,
Yeah.
dahlias.
Oh, dahlias.
Did I say daisies? I meant
Yellow
dahlias.
pom-pom dahlias. They're deer, are
Well, I
they?
mean, they're edible even to humans. so.
Oh, deer might eat them, yeah. Well, they don't eat them at your place?
And in my house, I have to.
I've not had too much trouble with that. Maybe they don't like yellow.
Maybe. Mine are fenced.
I was weeding in an area of my garden, I thought, what's going on with these dahlias? They're up, did the gophers get under and shove them out of the ground or what? They were this deep, packed solid this long,
Oh, my goodness.
so I have a lot of them.
I'll let them know and I'll let you know.
And if not, I'm gonna take them to the,
The botanical
to the,
garden.
Mm.
sale.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll text him and ask him
Yeah.
specifically if he wants them, so you can know what to do.
Cool.
On the director's report, let's see what else. Ola was great. I don't know if you guys all know who Michael Freets is, but that was a
really
treat.
exciting.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
bet, yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciated the description of each of the sessions that you and Kat provided. It was
Good.
nice to see how it's relevant or how it might be implemented.
Yeah, I mean, conferences, by the time we pay for hotels and mileage and all of that, they're not cheap, so I wanted to justify our presence there. And it is justified.
There were a
It's
couple of
really
those
great.
topics I was wishing I was there.
They're really great to go to, and sometimes board members do go, by the way, you know, the board members do go to OLA and they do present sessions occasionally.
I like the idea that it's in Seaside this next year.
Right, Seaside is the next one, so,
That's a little closer.
that's always an option.
Cool.
Let's see,
Oh, I could wear my book nerd socks that I got.
did I include the opportunity zone letter?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, I couldn't remember if I included that in the packet, but I brought a copy in case I didn't, but yeah, so that was just something that Kathleen and I did, and then any questions about stats or comments? Was anything too drastically different than usual? One more thing for director's report that happened after, Ron Bodeman came and looked at our attic storage space, and I asked him to give me a quote for converting that to a 1 hour fire rated, which is what the rest of the building is. The 2 fire rated doors alone would be about $3,500, but he said the whole project will be about $9,500. That's below my threshold, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell him to go for it. You know, we have to do it eventually anyway.
Yeah.
I did have a conversation with Aubrey last week, the fire marshal, and was trying to get some more details about exactly what that means if we had to do fire rated doors. And we kind of went on a bit of a witch hunt because what rules we have to follow depends upon when we started using that room as storage.
Oh, interesting.
And so that's what fire code applies to us.
Did you pass that to Kat, the archive historian?
Yeah, no, I went digging. I looked at our original plans and there was no reference to it. However, Bill has been at the library since the beginning, and he said that was immediately used as storage from the beginning. But there's no documentation of it. And so Aubrey was kind of like, well,
I wonder
you
if
know,
Brenda could attest.
he could, but I don't know. So
Like if Brenda Jacques could do like a affidavit or something.
maybe, yeah, that might be an option to do it. I don't know what the rules were in 93, what that would mean for us. Or that we could find any other date along the path. I mean, there would be no documentation then of when we started doing it if it was in 93 and not documented.
Right, nobody would have sent an email to fetch something from the attic until
Exactly.
at least like
Right.
97.
Exactly,
So-
right. And maybe like when the dumbwaiter was added, but
Yeah,
that was added because it was already used as storage and was
Okay.
difficult.
Is there a set of stairs that drops down?
Yeah,
Wasn't that built when the building was built?
yes, but there's a whole other section of the attic that's been used as storage and HVAC and things, so there's access, the HVAC is up there.
Okay.
So yeah, that doesn't
It's not gonna
really,
work out.
yeah, so,
The dumbwaiter contract is too late in time.
yeah,
Okay.
that was, I think I think it was in the early 2000s,
Okay.
Hmm.
2000 aughts.
Karen Munson might be able to attest to when
Maybe,
she's been around a long
maybe,
time.
and that could be an option. So Aubrey was going on vacation, so the question about whether or not to proceed with Ron is I was kind of leaning towards doing it anyway, because it's a safety thing.
Yeah.
You know, do we want a fire rated space or don't we? If we're storing we have all of our Curry Pilot, big books in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And
all the physical copies of like the checks and.
yeah, that
Those
space
things
is already
in there.
fire
Oh, it
rated.
is,
Yeah, it's
okay.
the side room only that's not. So that is protected, but things in that side room that we put in, which, I mean, we could rearrange and only put things that we don't care about there, but it's gonna make a fire burn faster.
Yeah.
And it's the space above the forest room,
Yeah.
essentially. So in my mind, I'm like, why,
It makes.
maybe we should
sense.
just go ahead and do it and make that room fire
It's
rated.
prudent.
Even if we went through the steps to use 93 rules and it could be cheaper, is it worth it?
Yeah, I think it's more
No,
prudent.
I think we need to be safe.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it, strike a lightning over the top of all that old newspaper.
right, right.
Fireproof doors might be really nice.
Yeah, so we have the only copies of those now that the pilot gave them to us, and so,
And we don't have the digitization grant from additional
right,
editions yet.
right,
so-
right.
Mhm.
So that's where I stand. I mean, I could go through all the work to figure out when exactly or do the attest, which is a good idea, but in my mind, I think I'd just rather pay the money. I don't know how much it would save us if we didn't have to put those fire rated doors on it. It'd be regular doors. I mean, 3,500 down to a couple hundred. It'd be significant, but
But they won't protect us in a fire.
exactly.
That's the problem.
No, I lean towards safety also
Okay.
and protecting what we have.
Okay.
So,
I wanted to get board consensus on that decision without making it myself, even though it's under my threshold. So I will go ahead and have Ron do that.
One way I think about it is I would authorize us to spend that money simply to digitize the pilot, you know?
Right,
So let's not have it burned down.
right, fair. That's true. Good point. Okay,
okay,
that's it for me on director's report.
okay, any questions for this?
Because
Oh,
I still
sorry.
have the thing about Phoebe.
Oh, right, Phoebe,
Oh, the letter.
the letter, yeah. I asked if, I'd sent that letter out. So yeah, the opportunity zone. I mean, do you guys have questions about that? Or it's too late for the board to send a letter, which is what would have been nice, but they were putting it
I
together
think you did a
quickly.
great job.
I didn't write this letter.
Wendy did it.
Wendy, the grant writer at the city, wrote the letter and I made a couple of changes and put it on our letterhead. So they make it easy.
Since we're on Owl and there are people who are potentially listening
Oh,
to this and have
okay.
no idea what we're talking about, could you just give a quick rundown on what this is?
Phoebe, would you like to?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Opportunity Zones is a designation that will allow private investors to come in and receive tax credits for investing in our community. So it allows them to avoid capital gain tax. And there are areas identified in economic suppressed areas throughout the state. And for Curry County, there were 4, and 2 of those happen to be Brookings. One is the north, which is Lone Ranch area development, and one is the downtown core. And so part of that application process is to garner as much as many letters of support from stakeholders. So the city reached out to a large number of people, and it was last minute because there's a deadline for getting our application in. But the city has elected to, there's only so many that get awarded. And so really you try to decide which is your biggest priority. We elected not to go that way because our support varied 2 different needs in our community. One is housing and one is more economic development. And so they really partner well together. And we've got a large number of letters of support. And so it could potentially be very beneficial for our community if we're awarded, both in helping get more affordable housing, which everybody knows is a need, and also identifying properties in the downtown core that private investment companies could come in and provide new job opportunities, and lots of different things could come of that. So we'll see. The 22nd is the deadline for getting it submitted. So, but we're working with regional partners that are actually submitting all the applications for the whole Southwest region or the South Coastal region. So there's proven to be better success when you have more unified approaches. So that's what we've elected to do. So yeah, I'm really grateful for everybody who quickly responded and jumped on, and Wendy did a fantastic job of tailoring those letters for each entity. And
Yeah, you made it easy.
so, yeah.
And, affordable housing, economic growth is good for any employer in the city. So that's an easy thing for me to support.
Yeah, I mean, specifically for like all the library
Yeah.
employees to have more affordable homes here in our area would be
Just
a
more
big-
competition in housing
big
prices
benefit.
at all. Yeah, we'll could hopefully make it more affordable for people.
Cool. Thanks, Phoebe.
I wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was really tickled again to see more programs I really think it's great that we have so many active
Oh, I'm
programs going on. And, but it was interesting to see, we had more programs, but less as people attended.
Mm-hmm,
But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because people attending, an area that might be of small interest to a bunch of people are still getting what they want.
right, large variety of programs,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think you're just doing a great job.
Thanks. I'll tell Kat and the programming team too.
Yeah.
Any other comments for Julie on her report? Okay. Board member announcements.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment. Whoever calls Iris to let her know that she's the appointment, suggest to her that she comes to the next meeting.
On that, I suppose I should have mentioned this before. I guess we need, no, we can talk about that offline. It doesn't need to
Okay.
be in this meeting, just
Okay.
thinking about her actual swearing in.
Right.
But we can figure that out later.
Got time.
Mhm.
For board member announcements, I want to say that, a couple weeks ago, I was invited to offer a presentation in the forest room that was on advanced directives and appointing a healthcare representative, for making decisions if someone's not in the right state of mind or medical condition to be able to make their own decisions. And, also to additionally have a list of next of kin and kind of guidance for a medical team. And we had, the registration was full. We had people who attempted to register and weren't able to make it. So if you know of other people who would be interested in something like that, I encourage you to have them contact Kat. And if Kat gets enough interest, we'll schedule again and do a second session.
Good. Cool. That's a really important topic. I'm glad you did that.
And I think it was heavier than people expected.
Mhm.
But Kat did a great job facilitating having a long reservation for the meeting room and providing a lunch break halfway through so that people could get the information. I walked through all of the sections of the advanced directive and the appointment of healthcare representative, and then sent people off with a rough draft over lunch so that they could call loved ones, ask if people would be willing to serve in that capacity, kind of make some decisions and then come back. And then Kat's a notary, and if anybody wanted to finalize their document or have me look over it, we could do that in the afternoon session. And I think that pause in the middle really helped people take a breath and move forward with what they actually want to put on paper for the final copy.
I'm always amazed at how many times I get involved when someone's passed away and there's no will. I mean, it's just, and it's older people. It's not that they died when they were 40,
I think it's just overwhelming to
Yeah,
try to
but,
put together. Yeah, people kind of avoid it.
yeah.
And when you hear horror stories about how so-and-so thought they were totally prepared with this will that they did, and they turned out that the whole family got upset and tore themselves apart from one another because they didn't like it. And so, it's the more information that people can get on those things, it's better.
Yeah, the inspiration for the workshop was Officer Dominguez's terrible accident.
Oh,
and,
sure.
Being a young person driving,
Mhm.
just between Brookings and Coos Bay and having a life-changing accident like that, and needing to have someone make medical decisions for her. And so I'd be happy to do it for city staff at any point too, if it's helpful.
I think there's a real need, appetite for that kind of information. So I would encourage you to offer it again. I will tell you that a couple of years ago, we changed the title on our accounts so that they were directly inherited.
Mm.
About a week ago, I went into the banks and I said, okay, so tell me how this is titled. They didn't change it in the bank.
Oh, my
If you've
God.
done your homework, go back and look again, because it may not be real.
Yeah, I recommend a every few year checkup,
Yeah.
not least of which is because every time a bank changes their software system, you have no idea what information transfers over.
Exactly, yeah, this is about 4 years ago I did this, so.
Pretty
the last
important.
4 years I've been driving without the coverage I thought I had as far as what to do with my assets.
Wow.
Yeah, not a happy car, no,
Chase has done away with their safety deposit boxes.
yes.
And I went into mine and there was an old will in there from, like 10 years ago. And I changed it and updated it and had trust and everything, but I thought that would have just confused everybody. So the reason that they did away with them is because they can't control what's put in any of those boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And it could be a bomb, could be who knows what.
Yes, we have stories when I worked at Wells Fargo about people being mad at the bank and leaving their fish in the box.
Wow. Do we have any other board member announcements?
Well, I just wanted to explain what I was thinking when I said that I might pull my name off of the board. My thinking was with Pat retiring, that it would not be wise for a second person to say I'm retiring too. The board needs to settle in with a new person, and then I'll make a decision whether to carry on until the election or to retire before then. I just feel like we need to solidify with the new person before we make one more jump. And yeah, so that was my thinking. It's not that I'm planning on turning in my resignation right away. But I think I'm really happy to have younger people. I would be delighted if our gentleman decided to be there, because it's important to look at all of our patrons when we have board members. Yeah, it's not because he's a man, it's because we have men as patrons and we need to be hearing them. And it's not because of his age, or her age, it's just, we don't have that age group on this board right now. And so I think that, that was my thinking.
Just remember, when I talked you into being on the board, I was saying,
So it's really easy, it's only one meeting a month for
Yeah.
about an hour.
Yeah, I think I
and
had
that
that
was
same
right at the
speech.
time that everything hit us.
Yeah. With craft at the fan, as the saying goes.
Yeah.
Sue or Pat, do you have anything to share?
No,
Pat? No?
Good. Would you remind me when your expected travel date is?
yes, I know. The expected travel date at this point has been moved slightly. And so, I think I will be out of town probably the 4th of June. Baby's due on the 8th. That gives us a couple of days to make sure all the stuff is ready to roll work. And then, maybe about a week after April 4th, so that makes it what, the 15th. So we're buttoned up right against that next board meeting, but I don't know, at this point, I have to do it without any, and so.
Yeah.
You guys can.
Family first.
You guys can be fine without me, so, you know.
Yep.
However, if I miss the meeting with Pat, I'll just have to take you to lunch or something.
I'll still be around.
I may be gone for the next board meeting too.
Use that, yeah.
Floating around on a houseboat in Lake Shasta.
That sounds nice.
So will we have,
If you come, yes.
My plans aren't settled yet. but
I gotta come to the last one.
Exactly. Yeah, okay, we need to go into executive session now.
Yes,
And I'm
maybe you
supposed
can
to
go, you
read-
probably could have gone, but I'm glad you stayed so you could explain the opportunity.
Yes, thanks.
I gotta go mute on Zoom. However, we need to read the script. And so I made this and passed this out just so you guys have it. When you go into executive session, you're supposed to read this. And so I'll just go ahead and do it. So we're exemplifying what it is, but you pick the relevant statute from this list. And that's all of them. So the district board for the Chetco Community Public Library District will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192660. Where is I should have looked at to I, to review and evaluate the employment related performance of the chief executive officer of any public body, a public officer, employee, or staff member who does not request an open hearing. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the virtual meeting. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and welcome the audience back into the meeting. And if anyone is watching or streaming on Zoom, I will be muting this meeting and then we'll unmute, put the video back on after the executive Okay, we've exited executive session at 7:24.
And there is no decision to be made.
No actions were taken, just email delivered.
You're not fired.
Thank you.
So then the last thing on our agenda is the director evaluation process. With Sue and I thought a workshop would be the easiest way to do it, to start this thing. Sue, why don't you share with everybody what you're thinking?
Okay, so back in the day, I worked for Wells Fargo Bank, and Wells Fargo Bank had a process they called PPR, which is performance, planning, and review. And each review period, usually 12 months, you would sit down with the employee, and I was the boss, so I sat down with the employee, and we looked at what was on the goals that we planned for last year, and we discussed whether or not we were successful in meeting those goals, and if we weren't, what was the problem that we couldn't meet the goal, to identify the problem so we can move on. So if, and then to the extent that, not that they necessarily accomplished the goals, but to the extent that they invested in the goals and made efforts to make them happen, that was part of the review process. So it was performance planning and performance review. And I thought that was a really good way to try to hammer down exactly what we need, because, we're paying our director money, and like any other job, there's expectations, and it's very hard for any director to hit the expectations if they're not delineated. So I think that would be something to do, and so Kathleen and I talked about that, and think maybe a workshop this summer. It doesn't have to happen right away, because we're not gonna revisit this process for another year.
Right.
But we need to start working on how to make this happen. So maybe we can do it as a workshop, and I don't know, how do we do that within our open meeting?
Well, it would be a public meeting. There would be no decisions made, because it's a workshop and not a meeting, correct? It would have to be noticed like any public meeting. And the public's invited to come and listen, but I don't believe there's any.
Right, no public comment.
Right,
They can submit letters in advance, I think, right?
Probably.
probably.
Whether or not they can, I submit letters for the workshops.
Yeah, I think they can. It's just not a public comment period.
And then we would work on it and then create a proposal for the next meeting.
Yeah, and then any decisions that we wanted to make would have to wait until the regular board meeting.
I will say that's how I evaluate the staff here.
Mhm.
It's always here's how you've done, and here's the goals for next year, and it's much easier to then evaluate the person the next year when you look at, okay, what were the goals? So that is the right way to do it, and I know a lot of places also will in some way communicate with staff.
Oh, yeah.
Like if these
Yeah.
questions, a lot of the staff would be able to answer them for you.
And to that extent, Kathleen and I mentioned this to Kathleen, and, I think that asking the staff to provide anonymous feedback, because they are staff, so we can't tie their name to their responses because of the
Mhm.
possibility of retribution. We want to protect Julie and the staff from any kind of appearance of retribution. So if we have anonymous ballots or that kind of thing, and so you'll get the wild hair, well, if she hates me,
Yeah,
you'll get that. But, most of them will say, well, she really loves me and she accommodates me. So, always have the wild hair, but
Yeah.
that wild hair doesn't drive the whole process. That's just somebody being honest.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
And I like objectives or goal-based
Mhm.
Questions.
review, and I would be really interested in seeing a blank of what you use for your stuff.
yeah, I've given
That
this
would be a
to the
great
board
start.
before. And they kind of use it. It's a much longer form, but I will send it out. You've never seen it, I'm sure, but I will send that out.
Okay. Do we want to, try to set a workshop date now, or just?
I don't care.
I know, or wait until our new board member is seated.
Onboard Iris,
Okay.
let's have the baby get born. And
Okay,
then,
And also remember that we do have a workshop in July already.
you're not fun.
I'm thinking September, or, it doesn't have to be right
Fall.
now.
So,
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
I agree.
What was the date on that workshop in July
July
again?
something.
I ran across it the other day, but.
July 8th.
Oh, there it is, right in front of me, 6 p.m., right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was an
Is
accommodation
that
for
right?
working.
Hang on, workshop.
I forget sometimes you work. I mean, I work too, sort of, kind of, but not Monday through Thursday.
Somehow I had a 8 p.m. That is not correct. 6 p.m. 6 p.m.
Having confused.
Not unless you're Friday.
So maybe we'll just,
Jammies.
we can probably put this on like the July agenda to set a date for a workshop that's maybe in September, something like that. Does that sound good, guys?
Sure.
Okay, 3 visits.
Okay. That is it, I believe. Anything else? For the good of the order, so to speak. All right, meeting's adjourned at 7:30.
Okay,
Better than last month. All
yeah,
right, thanks, guys.
thank you
Good, 'cause
all.
I forgot to drop off my ballot, so I have time to.
Oh, that's right, today is voting, I do mine early.
So I still have half an hour to get to the.
Plenty of time.
Cool, go for it,
Oh,
yeah.
Last and elect, the post office is closed, because for some reason, they don't think people need to come after 5 o'clock.
I know. It's very difficult to
Actually.
get to the bank and the
it's
post
too late
office
to
when you
mail
work
your
during
ballot,
business
and
hours.
that's the-
Oh, I know.
And now they don't even
No,
have
no, I
Sunday,
know. I was just
Saturday or
afraid
Sunday
that
hours.
there's not
Maybe they have
all
set,
calling, so I had
they
to
did
call
have set
someone.
hours by line.
Right, my mail.
So
comes to
when
my
you.
house, so-
Yeah, well, banking news.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
all my banking's outside.
Oh, I should end the meeting.